This short video will show you how to create something called a Power BI group or grouping. Basically, these are a really useful way of taking the information from one column, which maybe has lots of different values in there, and creating a second column that somehow groups those columns together. The example I'm going to use is an ethnicity-based group, which will look at all the different ethnicities in school and just pick out certain ethnicities and create a simpler column that groups all those particular ethnicities together and then says everybody else is in another category. But you can also use this, for example, to look at postcodes and group all the BL6 postcodes into a particular group, all the PR7 postcodes into a particular group, and so on. You'll get the idea when we try it. Here we go. Okay, so in the data pane here, at the side of the screen, you will find the pupil table. So you may have to scroll down to the pupil table. Don't mistake it with pupil measures. We're looking for the pupil table down the side there. And we can find ethnicity as one of the columns, as you'd expect, down the side. Well, if you click on the three dots to the side of ethnicity, tucked right at the bottom is an option that says New Group, which I'm going to click. And this is the box that allows us to set this group up. You'll see we need a scroll bar for some reason at the bottom there. First thing we'll need to do is set the name of this column. So this will become a column in its own right. So we're going to use this to monitor certain ethnicities. So we'll call this our ethnicity monitoring. Spell it right. So this is called the ethnicity monitoring group. Now, because this has already got text values in, i.e. all these are text values, these ethnicities are text, it's only given us the option to use a group type of list. If we'd chosen a number column, age or something else, then it would have also given us the ability to band those numbers together. Possibly if you've got a key stage 2 average result or average SAT score, you might want to use banding. But that will only work if you've got a number as your source column. Here we've just got text. So here's all the values that it shows us in this particular original column. This was my ethnicity column. So I'm going to choose all the ethnicities that I want to group together. I'm going to more or less choose random groups here. I'm sure you'll choose much more sensible groups. So I've just chosen 3 of those ethnicities at random. And if I group them together, you'll see they go across to this far side of the screen. And that's going to mean that anybody who's Afghan, anybody who's Arab, anybody who's Greek is going to be given a category name of this one. This is the default category name. I'm going to call this Group A. Again, you'll come up with much more sensible and meaningful names than I do. And then I'm going to identify another random group of ethnicities. And I'm going to group them together. And I'm going to call those Group B. And I could carry on doing this as many times as I needed to group these ethnicities together into particular groups. The last thing I'm going to do is include an other group. You'll see what this does in a minute. I'm going to click on there, and I'll click on, once I'm happy with these, I'll click on OK. What this now does is it looks through all the ethnicities of all my pupils, and it groups them according to those criteria. So now I have what is effectively an extra column. You'll see, because it's a group, it's got this special icon next to it, but to all intents and purposes, this is an extra column that I can use as a filter or as a slicer or to count particular values, whatever I want to do. If I look here in the table view, which gives us a sort of a spreadsheet view of the data, what we should see here is that we have got, right on the end here, there's our ethnicity monitoring group. And you'll see it has the 3 values that are specified when I set the group up, Group A, Group B, and Other. If I just want to have a look at those Group A entries now, Group A entries there, I don't have too many of them. Let's have a look at the ethnicity of those Group A's, somewhere in here. There we go. It's those 3 categories that I chose, those 3 obscure categories there. I don't have many pupils in those particular categories. And of course, Group B will be whatever pupils I chose in Group B. I'll look at that one. So now if we look at those ethnicities, those are the particular ethnicities I chose to go in Group B. And the final group there was basically everybody else. So everybody who's not in Group A, Group B gets put in this other category. So that's why it's sometimes useful to tick that box that said other category, because it at least puts something in for absolutely everybody else. There are some blanks in there. The blanks will be pupils who don't have any ethnicity details whatsoever, so it leaves those blank. And that's it. That's how you can use it. If you want to use this, it's straightforward to use it now. If I go back to the report view, let's say I wanted to replace this little box at the bottom here, which currently says the percentage of white British pupils. But what I can do instead is I can, for example, delete that one. So I just highlight it, delete it. And I'll take the pupils one. This is showing all my pupils. I'm going to press Ctrl-C to copy that and Ctrl-V to paste the copy. I'll drag this down and I'll position it where I deleted the one from a moment or two ago. And at the moment, this is telling me about my 1,033 pupils I have in the whole school. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to tell Power BI to apply a filter. To apply a filter in the filter pane here, go to the top level, filters on this visual, and I'm going to choose my ethnicity monitoring group here. I'm going to slide that across and put that so I can filter this one visual by ethnicity monitoring group. So this is now, if I click on group A, for example, these are the 9 pupils in group A, and just so it's really clear that those are the 9 pupils in group A, I'm going back over to the visualizations pane, clicking fields, and I'm going to say pupils in group A. There we go. I could also use that ethnicity monitoring group and put it onto the filters on all pages and leave it up to my end users as to whether they use it or not, or whether they use it or not. So I can slide this across now and put it on filters on all pages, just drop it there, and somewhere then it will put that down there. And now if I use it here, if I click on group B, the whole page now filters. So this is just pupils in group B filtering the whole page. You can also use this same technique to put a filter on for a slider or a slicer. So let's say we want to go to attendance bands, for example. Maybe we want to add a slicer. A slicer is one of these here. So to add a slicer to this list, I'll first of all make sure that no visualization is currently selected. Click on the slicer, position it nicely on the page, and then I can slide across ethnicity monitoring group, drag it across to the empty field box in the visualizations pane just there, and maybe I'll just change the format of that. So the slicer settings here, instead of being a vertical list, is a drop down. Now I can change that so that now I or my end users can choose one of these options, and now I get the percentage attendance bands filtered according to that.